Hi, Tali. Thank you very much for joining us. It's good to see you again. How are things in Montreal?
Thanks for having me back, James. Things are great over here, nice and sunny today, and yeah, good to be here.
The pleasure is all ours. Tali, so much has happened in the crypto world since the last time we spoke. Markets around the world have gotten hit quite hard just on the back of geopolitical situation in Eastern Europe. The Nasdaq's down 15% on the year. Bitcoin's down over 15%. And NFTs have also gotten hit significantly hard. And this is what you and your firm focus on. So I want to have a deeper discussion on that. But before we do that, why don't we just start with a brief overview of your firm, GDA Capital? Where's the firm based? How many employees do you have, and what services do you offer?
Sure thing. Well, I work for GDA Capital. We are a digital asset advisory based out of Toronto with approximately 70 employees and growing quickly as the space continues to expand. So it's been a really, really exciting year, just learning everything that I can about this industry. And yeah, we offer a range of different services within the Web3 space, including crypto, metaverse consulting, marketing, lending. We have a VC, so we do it all.
Tali, the NFT market exploded in 2021, going from 100 million in sales in 2020 to over 22 billion in sales in 2021. And now in early 2022, it's pulled back significantly. According to the website CoinMarketCap, the total market value of all NFTs has fallen over 50% from the peak of 23 billion to approximately 10 billion. And also the largest exchange that trades NFTs is OpenSea, and their daily trading volumes are also down 60 to 70% from the peak. Before we examine the reasons for this recent pullback, why don't we just start with a brief overview of what created this hysteria in 2021 in the NFT market?
Sure thing. Well, I think there's a lot of reasons that can be pointed back to this. It's a combination of different factors, but overall, NFT technology is just something so new and revolutionary, and it really changes the landscape of a lot of industries. I think most people know NFTs because of the digital artworks that they see. And so based when we're analyzing this big boom, I think it's important to start there because that's what really captured the attention of so many people. And I think it was really a combination of shock and fear and excitement and a whole lot of emotions. As someone who comes from a creative background, someone who's a digital artist, I personally was first really excited when I found out about this technology, because I recognized the potential for this to spark a new creative revolution, to encourage the creative economy, because digital artists prior to the whole NFT boom didn't really have a way to monetize their career as opposed to traditional artists. A lot of the artists who I've spoken to who are now some of the biggest and most famous digital artists and 3D artists within the NFT space today with hundreds of thousands of followers. But when you talk to them about their careers prior to the NFT boom, before this technology really came out, they were working doing freelance contracts, or a lot of 3D artists were doing concert visuals or music visuals related to the music industry, but none of them were really making a living, a viable living off of just creating art, which is ultimately what every independent artist wants to achieve with their career, to just be able to create what they want. And so NFTs provided digital artists with that opportunity to thrive and succeed. And so I think that factor on its own really attracted the artistic community. And once the artistic community started to form around NFTs, that's when the rest of the world started really getting involved because of the hype, because it was really cool, because it was really exciting. So people who are interested in art and culture and who've been following these artists really hopped on board. And I'd say it started there with people who really wanted to watch the artists that they really loved, myself included, succeed. And that's what NFTs provide, is the opportunity for a follower to actually be invested in the success of the careers of their favorite artists. And of course, NFTs apply to so much more than just digital art, but I think that that is initially what grabbed the attention of most people. As that continued to expand, I think community is a really important driving factor behind the success of crypto and NFTs and the metaverse. It's something really unique that exists in the space that I think is almost telling of the technological generation that we're living in, because community and interaction is such an important part of that culture. So because that's so intricately tied with Web3, I think the two just went hand in hand. And so that's how it grew within the space. And it was very niche, and existed outside of the mainstream, but the mainstream started catching on once they heard all of these shocking numbers, right? Like you have CryptoPunks selling on average for the starting price is 50K. And so people who had never heard of NFTs before would see an article in the news saying, someone just bought an image that I can see online. And it's that running joke that's, if I can just right click save as this image, why would I spend $50,000? And so that shock factor is really what got NFTs spreading within the media. And so I think that that's a combination of fear and excitement and curiosity and unknown that grabbed the attention of the world. And when everyone saw how much money was being poured in and how much potential there was, whether they understood it or not, I think that created FOMO. So everyone started jumping in, and then you just start to see this industry skyrocket and grow out of nowhere. And now we're finally at the point where we're finally having the ability to explore the different use cases of NFTs beyond just digital art. So there's so much, and we touched upon a little bit of that during our last call, but yeah, it's still developing, it's still growing, and I'm really excited to see where we take it from here.
No, you raised a very good point there, because it was in February of 2021, that's when I first became aware of NFTs, when when Christie sold Beeple's first NFT piece of art, I guess, for $69 million. And that was all over the news. And I became aware of it then.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that I'm actually surprised at how quickly the traditional art world has adopted this new technology and artistic medium, because as someone who comes from an artistic background and having studied art history, I expected more pullback. But really, I think that just goes to show you how these art critics have really recognized the potential in this space. I mean, as far as a Beeple piece being sold as $69 million, it's valuable in the art world because it's a sign of the times. When you look back throughout history, artwork is so much more valuable beyond aesthetics. It's a reflection of current world trends. It's a reflection of the sentiments of our population, and we've obviously gone through such an important past couple of years with so many historical world events, and just those collective emotions of navigating new lifestyles and adjusting to the pandemic and all of the shocking information that we're seeing in the news. The art that's created as a product of that is telling of the sentiments of the general public. And I think that's also partially why we've been so attracted to artists like Beeple, because he has so many pop cultural references. He ties in humor and memes. And when someone's going to look back on that 100, 200 years from now, they're going to have a direct insight into what it was like living through this, crazy period.
And you're right, you raise a very good point about these traditional auction houses getting involved. As we mentioned, Christie sold Beeple's first piece. Sotheby's recently completed a digital art auction. They raised, I believe it was over $16 million in sales. They planned another one that's coming up in June. So when you get these big auction houses getting involved, it really adds a lot of legitimacy to the whole digital art sector.
Exactly. And as someone who's very passionate about this space, I couldn't be happier that we have these legitimate institutions that are only reinforcing what everyone who's been in the space for quite some time has been saying for quite some time. So it's really great to see.
Tali, I want to get your opinion on valuations. When you look at traditional paintings or painters from Van Gogh or Rembrandt or any member of the group of seven, what's going to happen to these paintings? Are they going to lose value because there's a higher demand for digital art?
Not at all. Actually, quite the opposite. I think that first and foremost, NFT technology has the potential to increase the value of existing artworks. And we kind of touched upon this last time we spoke, but something that this technology solves that's been a recurring issue within the traditional art markets is provenance, which is the history of ownership, verifying that a painting is actually real and was created by this artist. There was this story of a woman who found a Jackson Pollock. Yeah, it was a Jackson Pollock in a thrift shop, and she bought it for $5. And his paintings are worth thousands and thousands of dollars. And she had to go to all of these art critics and these labs to test the paint to verify that this was really Jackson Pollock. And you had some experts saying that this is a real painting, and a lot of them that just denied the fact that even though all the signs were pointing to it being an authentic Jackson Pollock, they just simply couldn't believe that she found it in a thrift store and purchased this for $5. And so imagine that we were to go back in time and embed NFT technology. Something that we do at NFT BAZL is we have these, we call them NFC chips. So we embed those chips into an original artwork, and they function much like a POS system. You scan your phone over that artwork, and that chip is linked to a verifiable authenticity, verifiable on the blockchain. And so you can track the history of ownership, which is, how it used to be and still is done in the traditional art market as to, verifying where this piece came from. And it's a very spotty way to trace authenticity, but it's the best we have. Documents saying that this person left this painting in their will to their granddaughter, and then their granddaughter sold it to someone. And there's a lot of holes in that. So NFTs, if we were to take, a painting that currently exists, a Picasso that's sitting in a museum, and verify it on the blockchain and link that certificate to the actual piece, it's only furthermore enhancing its value. And as with any artwork, it's like I was saying before, it's a sign of the times. And so that those paintings created in those periods are reflective of those time periods, and that's always going to be valuable. It's always going to be interesting, and they're always going to be beautiful. And I guess ultimately our art is in the eye of the beholder. So whether you're attracted to the 3D digital art revolution, you're more into impressionist paintings and other Renaissance periods, it's really up to you. But you can't deny the fact that history is history, and it always will be.
Tali, you mentioned NFT BAZL. That's another company that you're involved with, and that's a marketplace for NFTs. Why don't you tell us a little bit about NFT BAZL, and also tell us how it's different from other exchanges like OpenSea?
Happy to. So NFT BAZL is a boutique NFT marketplace, and what really differentiates it from other open marketplaces is that it's not open, it's closed. It's specially curated. So we have a strict vetting process as to who we let in. And our mission with NFT BAZL is to really highlight the value in digital art, or NFTs beyond digital art, because we also have luxury collectibles as well, as a valuable asset. So on OpenSea, you're seeing a lot of projects. We call them PFP projects, which stands for profile picture projects. Those are things like CryptoPunks, generative art, and anyone can really just go and mint something on OpenSea on one of those platforms and build the hype around it and sell those items. There's a lot of speculation around projects like that, people saying that, where's the value behind it? It's just to flip it and make a quick buck. And I'm not going to say that that is the case for all of these projects. I've seen some truly incredible ones created by talented artists, but there is so much speculation there. And what we're trying to do over at NFT BAZL is list items that hold intrinsic value, whether it be by, we take a lot of traditional artists who already have, very stable reputations in the traditional art world, and we'll take their artwork and collaborate with our digital artist team and create these traditional artists' first digital pieces, mint that on the blockchain. We're an Ethereum-based platform, and then list that as an NFT. So it's the value of the artist. We do work to discover artists and have actually launched the careers of a lot of successful artists. We signed with George Dimmock, who later on, a couple months later, got signed with another big gallery. So we're constantly scouting for talent, and we do have a really long process that we use to discover these new artists. And in addition to also, listing luxury collectibles and high-end artworks, we also offer NFT consulting services and NFT solutions for brands. So we've partnered with a multitude of luxury brands, dropping unique collections that hold utility based on whatever that brand is willing to provide as a reward for people who are part of their community. So yeah, and in addition to that, we also host exhibitions internationally, and those are just really exciting ways to showcase all the new innovation in the space.
So I'm glad you brought that up because you and your team recently organized an event in Bahrain. Why don't you tell us about that?
Sure. So the event was called the NFT MENA exhibition, and it was the first of its kind in the region. It was sponsored by the Kingdom of Bahrain, and it took place during the Formula One weekend, and yeah, we really centered the theme around preserving culture through technology and through blockchain technology. We featured a range of super talented local artists, as well as artists from around the world who the common theme behind their work is culture and history and heritage. And it was a beautiful event. Lots of people came out. We had educational panels throughout the week explaining the potential behind the technology and how it can help in preserving culture. And yeah, that just took place last March.
I never got an invite to that, Tali.
It's a bit far away from Toronto, so.
Tali, why don't we move on now to the fashion industry because the fashion industry has really embraced NFTs. Rebecca Minkoff, a well-known fashion designer, recently released her second NFT collection during Metaverse Fashion Week, and it sold out in 9 minutes. And many designers will be releasing collections during New York's Fashion Week in September. But why would a designer like Rebecca Minkoff want to have an NFT collection?
I think there's so many different reasons behind this. First and foremost, I mean, as we've kind of gone over before, there are so many different use cases and utilities for NFTs. You can use it in the fashion world similar to how we're seeing it used in the digital artwork. One is a way to verify the authenticity of luxury goods and exclusive collections, maybe an expensive designer watch that would have an NFC chip in it that's verifiable, that it's not a fake Rolex, but there's also so many recent technological advancements in terms of AR and VR that creatives are only just beginning to explore. So I've seen artificially enhanced clothing collections where you scan your phone over a t-shirt or a sweatshirt with art and then it just comes to life in front of you. And I think creatives are only just beginning to explore that medium. So it's really, really exciting to see. And I'm very, very passionate that the digital art space is going to expand as much as the NFT space in the next couple of months.
And what other well-known designers have gotten involved in NFTs?
So during the recent Metaverse Fashion Week that took place in Decentraland, which I think was the first time that on a global scale within the virtual world, digital fashion was really brought into the mainstream markets. And so we had massive designers like Tommy Hilfiger, Dolce & Gabbana, Elie Saab, all participating. They had storefronts up in Decentraland. They had live runways where you can hop in with your avatar and watch other virtual avatars model these new clothing collections. It was really exciting to even just walk around and see these beautiful designs and explore these collections from the comfort of your own home.
And many large brands like Coca-Cola, Nike have also gotten involved in NFTs. Why don't you explain to us why they would do so? What's the advantage for them to be involved?
Sure, I think, yeah, a lot of it has to do with, just simple marketing. It's a cool, active way to engage your audiences. A really interesting use case was Domino's Pizza, who created a virtual storefront in the metaverse. And so what you could do is that you could walk up with your avatar and order online, much as you would, on your phone, but track your pizza order and get it delivered to your house. And in order to bring attention to this. I think they did some giveaways where you could win a free pizza if you participated. And it's really just an exciting way to engage your audiences. Extending that further, I think different brands use this medium as a way to encourage brand loyalty, to reward their regular users or customers for participating in their brand, investing in their brand, and people are doing that in a multitude of creative ways.
I might have to get my kids to order a pizza on there.
It's fun, you should try.
Have you done it before?
I have not ordered a pizza, but I've definitely explored so many different activations in the metaverse of different brands, storefronts, browsing, online shopping. It really is an entire world that exists online.
Tali, as we wrap up, you and your team are always coordinating interesting and very unique events. What events do you have planned in the coming weeks and months?
So our next event that we are working on is the NFT Summit. It's an entirely virtual summit taking place on May 10th and 11th, where we have a range of speakers, a multitude of different panels, all coming together to discuss different topics within the NFT space. And that's where we really get into the interesting niche topics. We have gaming, we have NFT value and utility, marketplaces, communities, digital fashion, investing in NFTs as an asset, digital art. We have our creators panels. So it's really exciting. And if you're interested in learning more about it, I definitely recommend checking it out.
And where can we find more information on this event?
I will send you a link if you want to include it in the caption.
Tali, that was a great overview of what's happening in the NFT market. And I want to thank you for your insights, and I look forward to your upcoming NFT conference.
Thank you so much, James. It's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you.